Thumbs up? We all good? Okay, great. Okay, let's get started. Like normal, we'll talk about last week's game, and then we'll talk about this week's opponent and anything that comes to my mind here as we go through the process of this week. So I'll open with saying that, again, as we go through our first, kind of critique the nutshell of the first 5 games for us, it's a fine line. Mistake because we're not making the plays that define, not making the plays that turn a game, and our opponents are making the plays, or we're making the mistakes that turn a game that are fine line mistakes. Obviously, the start of our game last week in the block punt is something that was a big turning point in a game and starts the team off on the row, where we have been a really good home team, and gives them a chance to gain some momentum and to take a lead. And so throughout the game, that early touchdown that they had just kind of kept showing itself. And how it showed itself is that there at the end of the half, where we weren't good in the last 4 minutes, and that's one of our goals, they went down and put a good drive together and scored to take a 7-point lead, and we get the ball to start the second half. And so normally when we get the ball to start the second half, if we're tied, I'm going to play pretty conservative and pretty close to the vest. But because we were down 7, we got a little bit aggressive on that 3rd and 14, and it led to a big mistake by us. So the 2 big mistakes in that half that kind of made a huge effect on the ball game were the block punt and the turnover at the end of the half. And so one thing kind of leads to another. And then in the third quarter, we came out, put together a really good drive, and then, got the game to within a touchdown, and then kind of went, they put together. Praise gets that pick, and there's one guy left to make the play, and Tyrese turns around to block the quarterback, and he just didn't get his eyes around enough. If he gets that block, there's no one left. Praise is going 80 yards down the field. How much does that change the game? A lot. And so there's the fine line right there. But we still have momentum, and we get a chance to convert on 3rd down and don't convert, and make an unforced error on 3rd down there and don't convert. And then we get, finally they had got a lot of 3rd down conversions in that previous drive, but we get a big 3rd down stop, and then we get the personal foul at the end of the 3rd down. And when I watched that play, it wasn't one of those plays that 2 guys that you see all the time that everybody's got to be more disciplined on, is where 2 guys are pushing and shoving each other, and one guy shoves back, and here, and the guy that was blocking him got into just playing the play, just physically playing the play, but Amir was undisciplined enough to let his hand get up into the helmet of the defender, and then the guy's helmet came off in his hand. So it's a penalty that should be called, but it was just aggressive play that led to the penalty, and not being disciplined enough to keep his hand out of the face mask. But that's a huge play in the game because it keeps the drive alive, and they go and score and flip the momentum back on us. But again, offensively, we responded and got the game back to 7 points again, and then they put together another drive. But as we watched the game, we gave up a lot more rushing yards than we have to anybody for a long time. They did a lot of good things. They had a lot of really good schemes offensively, and we gave up chunk plays, right? Big plays. But all in all, we had 27 plays that were on our defensive highlight reel. In the run game and be better on 3rd down, right? And then offensively, we can't have turnovers. Dynamic at times. Gavin threw some really good throws, and the receivers made some good catches, but we can't have the unforced errors, the turnovers, and the drop passes. Those are the things that we got to clean up. And so very, very interesting about this season is we're not a month from our first game yet, right? It's still not a month since our first game, and we've played 5 games. And so because of that, that should help us to improve at a high rate. Now, what's been the effect of those 5 games is that it's been a grueling schedule for us, and I think we all can sit here and say that we've played 5 pretty good football teams, right? I mean, Northwestern beats Minnesota last weekend, right? So Northwestern's not the same Northwestern team that they've been. Jacksonville State's really good, right? We know Jacksonville State just shut out Eastern Michigan at home, and Eastern Michigan's a good group of 5 football team. So I go on and on, right, of the teams that we've played and the records of the teams that we've played to this point. So it's been 5 weeks of really tough football for us. UNLV had beat an SEC team. So there's the fine line for us is just let's get those things fixed, because I still believe in so many ways we have a good football team and there's much ahead of us, right? And each and every game that we play is going to get us back on the track we need to be on. So we got to learn from our mistakes, get better from our mistakes, improve on the things we need to improve on, and continue to get better. That's our goal for where we are right now. And it takes toughness, right? Because we haven't started off the season the way we want to start it off. That's very obvious. But we've been in situations like this before. You know, we've been in some adverse situations, and we brought this program from an adverse situation when we took it over. And so our guys are equipped to handle it, and we're all equipped to handle it, but now it's time to start getting W's on the board. So that's where we are. Talking about this upcoming game, La Tech again. They have Smoke Harris is back right now, and I think it's his 14th season, if I'm not mistaken, on Smoke where he is, and he caught 10 passes last week, and he's really dynamic player after the catch. When he's good, gets open and makes some good yards after the catch. He's a good returner for him. One of their key players on offense. They have some other receivers that are very good. They got most of their offensive line coming back from last year. They're actually playing 2 quarterbacks. You know, Turner started last week, but Bachmeier had started before the last game. So they have 2 quarterbacks that have played for them. Defensively, they have a lot of returning starters from last year's defense. Got good size and athleticism to their defensive football team. And, obviously are going to be a big test for us coming in this weekend. And I'll open it up to questions from there.
What do you do to fix the defense?
Yeah, we jumped out. We had some players jump out of their gaps at times, Brett, and when they did, they found those open seams. And I thought the running backs for UNLV did a good job of finding those open tackle well. We got to fix our tackling position of our bodies on tackling, always averaging plays better on defense. That's how we fix that part of it. But we can't have many yards, and so we got to just have better gap integrity to what we're doing, and we got to tackle better and fit the runs a little bit better with our linebackers and our safeties.
Two-part question, I guess, for Louisiana Tech preparing for their quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
How similar situation maybe preparing to, but also you played Bachmeier last year.
We think Bachmeier is a really tough guy, a really competitive quarterback, and a good player, and so we definitely know what he can bring to the table. That's our understanding of what he can do, Con. So we like the kind of athlete and kind of toughness that he has as a leader. And then the Turner quarterback, he's athletic and big and strong. So they got some good athleticism at their quarterback position, and I really don't think we prepare any differently for them, no matter who's going to end up starting for them, just because of the fact that they're going to do what they do. You know, they have their system that they do, and it's a good system that's been proven through many years of football, and so we're going to prepare for both of them, but we respect both those quarterbacks quite a bit and what they can bring to the table for sure.
I guess Gavin wasn't practicing today.
Yeah.
Health-wise, how is he?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, we're just holding right now. Right now, there's not anybody that didn't play. There's not anybody that played last week that shouldn't play this week. We're hoping we can get Dion. You know, we thought Dion was going to be good to go last week, and we got to practice. He didn't practice last Monday. Today he was out there practicing. And so with Dion, we're hoping that he'll be back. And right now we're hoping Stephen Hubbard, because Steve Hubb tried to play, but he wasn't able to go. He tried to play the first series. He still wasn't moving like he wants to move. But again, he didn't practice all week, and he practiced on Monday. So I'm hoping our football team is in a more healthy status than it's been for a while because Marcus Bellin kind of made a real quick late recovery Thursday that we didn't think he was going to make last week, and now he's practicing today. So he really played well in the game. So it was nice having Marcus back there for that position, because we needed that position. So everybody that played last week should play, and then the new additions would be Dion being healthy finally, we're hoping, and Hubbard being healthy finally, we're hoping as well.
That's Hardison's point.
Gavin's plays is been fine, Brett. It hasn't been. I mean, I thought he did some really good things, and he forced the throw at the end of the half, right? And quarterbacks are going to make a mistake here and there. That's just part of it, and it's that fine line that we walk when the mistake is one at our own side of the field. But when I just watch him play, and again see what he brings to the table and the competitiveness and how much he cares and what kind of leadership he brings to our football team, he did a lot of really good things in that game as well, and he was patient with a lot of things. A couple of the interceptions late, again, where we're down 2 scores and we're forcing things, and that puts him in a tough situation. Everybody knows we're throwing, ball gets tipped, right? He overthrows. I'm trying to give a real blanket of how important he is to us, and how much we see the mistakes he makes, but he makes a lot of good plays too, and I get the same. So everybody knows I'm not being biased. I get the same feedback from the NFL scouts that really love the kid, and I had 3 of them there here today, and they say the same thing. People don't see all the plays that he makes too, that are really, really sensational plays. So we just need to get wins on the board, and it'll take some of the stress out, stress off of Gav a little bit, so he doesn't feel like he has to force things.
Coaches obviously went to conference play from here on out. Also for you in the new look Conference USA, is that a motivator? How much of a motivator is it, in the sense that there's some teams from Conference USA in the past, but there's also some teams who don't quite know how things stack up?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're excited to be back into conference play because it gives us a new start, right? It gives us a start message to our team. We had Wendell, our PA announcer, give the chapel to our team, and he had a wonderful message about looking at things through the windshield and not through the rear view mirror, and that's where we are right now, because all of a sudden we get some wins in conference to start the conference season off, and we're back to square one where we want to be. And so we can endure these 6 games in just a little bit over a month by getting a win and getting back to even slate in the conference. And I am really excited about the conference and the new conference we're in, because I have a lot of pride in Conference USA, because I was coaching in Conference USA in 2000 was my first year there. And so, I have a lot of history with the conference, and I have a lot of pride in the conference, and we got a lot of good football teams. And so, really looking forward to getting ourselves back in to conference play. I think we had to start conference play in the new conference in a really, really hostile environment, and now we're kind of seeing how everybody knows from watching our Jacksonville State game that if we play the way we don't make a few key mistakes, we come out of there with a win, and now we're seeing how really good of a football team Jacksonville State is. So with that being said, I mean, I like our conference, and I'm excited about getting back into conference play.
How tough is it? You already got 5 games in, and now you got this one on Friday. Is there some pros and cons to when you have to worry about something more because you got a day left to prepare?
Yeah. Teams kind of has been tested, and we're ready to play because we've played so many games, so we don't necessarily need an extra day. Now, if they had an extra day over us, obviously I wouldn't think that was a good thing, but right now we don't need necessarily an extra day to get ready because we've had so much football underneath us, and so I'm really kind of excited. And then obviously, we had a tough home loss, and we want to get back and play some football again, but we got to prepare, so we got to have great preparation, but I'm really looking forward to playing a Friday night game.
Kind of jumping off that, you guys don't have another game on a Saturday night.
Right. Right.
Have you ever had a stretch like that?
No, this is going to be really interesting time for us. The Wednesday games, people watch Wednesday games because everybody's itching to watch college football during the middle of the week, right? And Wednesday's a great day to play. I mean, in all reality, it is for a program to get, group of 5 schools to get national attention, just because of the fact that there's nothing else on, right? I mean, everybody's waiting until Thursday for the college games on Thursday, and then the NFL game that's on Thursday. So, Tuesdays and Thursdays too. It's really going to be good for the league to get those, and for us, it's a good schedule as far as we're trying to figure out all the, how to handle all the different, mechanics of it, whether it be the media things that we're doing during the week or the practice schedules during the week and all that part of it. But as far as for us, we're playing, 3 weeks in a row, Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. So that part of it's not bad at all. And now what's going to be really nice is after this game against La Tech, we get a good rest. Our kids get a good rest, which will be good for us to get some rest. And then after the game on the 25th, we're going to get some good time in between that game. So I kind of like the way the schedule sits out for us. This has been, I haven't liked the way the first 5 games have been laid out for us, but that's just part of it. We need to do a better job handling that, and we didn't. But in some football games.
Burgess obviously had a big game for you on Saturday. Just downhilling, totally where Dion is health-wise. I mean, is that somebody that you need to find maybe more some creative ways to
I mean, he's doing so good, Con. Gosh darn, he's doing really well in every way. Guy, he gets tough yards too. I mean, he puts his head down, and all of a sudden he's 4 yards further downfield, and we're like, he gives you that. Think of the catch production he's had in the last couple games for us. So, that's why it's important to get Dion back. And try to get Mike back too, to complement, because obviously when we have all 3 of them, they're really showed even more what he can do and what he can bring to the table. And then we've talked about it, but we do got to get EJ Azel-Jabbar backfield as well. And then we're probably going to play Darian Trice a little bit this game too, even if, with Dion being healthy, because he's having some great practices for us. We were just talking about him watching practice today, how elusive he's in game action too.